What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors this week, like I say every week, every rumor that I am about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven fact, true, by the person, company, or promotion that the rumor is about, they remain what they are, rumors. So, with that, let's get into a whole new week of rumor of the day, whole new episode of rumor of the day. Mike Santana is likely headed to SmackDown after Slammiversary, says Wrestling Observer Radio. There has been rumors and speculations that now that Mike Santana is done with TNA after his loss to Nick Nemeth at Slammiversary, and that he is set to likely go to WWE. His contract is up sometime this month. I think it's the end of this month. So it is possible we could see Mike Santana in time for SummerSlam. It is possible, but for now, it's really just all speculation until we hear otherwise, as far as it being confirmed. PW Insider, meanwhile, says the company was very happy with the Slammiversary event whole, on the whole, with the feeling it was just what they needed. TNA had a fantastic Slammiversary. It was that event that they needed with the bumps in the road that they've hit as of late. So this was the perfect event that really helped them and was the kind of positive um, positive thing that they needed. They also say, PW Insider, Road Dogg is still working through the process of signing with TNA, and all expectations are that he is indeed going to be signed and become a member of the creative team. I think the the number of rumors that I've read and have talked about, all signs and arrows point to Road Dogg going back to TNA to be a part of that creative team. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. It's just a matter. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's just a matter of when that becomes official. Selfmade Pro claims John Moxley wanted to work with Kenny Omega at All in London, but there are no plans to do that match. I'm going to touch on the current situation of Kenny Omega and what's going on with that as in the AEW bubble as we lead towards the next their next pay-per-view and their new pay-per-view called Redemption. So I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. According to Brian Alvarez, Ilya Dragunov will be back sooner rather than later. This is good news. It'd be nice to get him back on TV and get him into something, whatever that is. Whether it's he's back and he feels ready now to compete for the United States Championship. Um, I know that he was given when Carmelo Hayes was given doing the open challenge, Ilya Dragunov, and he tried to get Ilya Dragunov to do it. He did get Ilya Dragunov to do it eventually. Excuse me. But as far as how Ilya Dragunov has been perceived on TV as late, not feeling deserving, feeling he deserved a title opportunity in how the matches have gone from as of late. So he stepped away from television. I think he got hurt. I think he also got hurt as well, I believe. Again, he's a hard hitter. He goes all in. He goes to war in just about every match he's in. So yeah, I think he did get hurt again, if I remember correctly. But he should be back soon, so it'll be good to get him back on TV. In yet another update to the Mike Santana saga, PW Insider brings word that he is now officially finished with TNA after Slammiversary, which I just brought up earlier. He will not be at the TV tapings this following week in New York. He was not. And his deal is up in the coming days. It remains expected that he will sign with WWE. So this just really adds to what I just said earlier about Mike Santana. Dave Dave Meltzer mentioned on X that he thinks WWE believes this is a critical time for AEW, and that's why they're willing to do bad ratings for shows like Great American Bash just to counter program them to kill the promotion. This is something I do not agree with. Uh, that we shouldn't no company should be trying to kill the other company. I think a company versus another company, I get it, it's business. But as far as killing the company, that is not good for business overall, because overall, what's good for business is for the consumer, the fans to have options. So last, pardon me. So last Sunday, we had the was last Sunday was a great 24 hours for pro wrestling fans because they had options. You had Forbidden Door, you had Slammiversary, you had the Great American Bash. Whatever you wanted to watch, whatever you could afford to watch, you had those choices. Forbidden Door put on a killer show. They put on a hell of a match. It is no surprise how well AEW does when it comes to pay-per-views. Yes, they can run a little long, but the time that they give for the matches, the stories that can be told within those matches are they do a great job. And those matches are killer. And just almost just about every match is someone is just brutally bleeding, right? But it shows in the passion and the love and everything that they leave in that squared circle, especially between Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. They match one of the top matches of the night for sure. So absolutely, that was a great match. Slammiversary had some great matches. Great American Bash had some great matches. So absolutely. So I don't feel like a company should be trying to kill another company. I think a company wants to do better than another company, but not so well that you're going to kill the other company and you're going to take away and you're end up taking away something, taking away an option um, from the consumer, from the fans, because never monopolizing something is never a good thing. Success in something is always good, but monopolizing it is never good. You want to be able to do well and have success in that company and whatever your company is, but you want to still be able to leave space real estate open for others to be able to do well and to find some success of their own and to leave options for other people to be able to look at, especially when it comes to professional wrestling. So I do not agree with that, and I it's not the 90s. We're not WWE and WCW are not going head to head and trying to kill the other. That's how it was in the 90s with the Monday Night War. One was trying to kill the other. And for the most part, we all know how that went. And we live in an age now where we don't need to be doing that. Absolutely not. The outlet says it was ESPN's idea for WWE United Champions to include 6 total matches rather than the standard 5 match count from many previous PLEs. ESPN felt that an extra match or two would add good value to the paid portion of United Champions on ESPN Unlimited. WWE's PLEs are expected to keep this extended format going forward, which includes the opening hour still being simulcast on ESPN's cable channel. You know what? Honestly, I'm okay with that. I like that we had a few more. I like that we had a few more matches on Night of Champions than the usual like 4 or 5. The fact that there could be a possibility of 6 or 7 matches, I'm for it. I'm honestly for it. Let me know in the comments what you feel about that. According to Wrestling Observer Radio Dave Meltzer, the AEW World Championship match between MJF and Kenny Omega this week, Wednesday night, at Dynamite Beach Bash, was originally planned to take place at Redemption Pay Per View on July 26th. Co-host Brian Alvarez says the change was made fairly recently, but it's not clear why. This is what I wanted to bring up with the Kenny Omega thing. So originally, as we as I brought up and thought that it was going to how it was going to work was Kenny Omega versus MJF at Redemption, and then after what would be a hell of a good match, Kenny Omega would defeat MJF at Redemption and then go on to All In to face Will Ospreay. But now we find ourselves in a situation where this match that I thought was going to happen at Redemption is now going to happen this Wednesday. And if MJF wins, he, pardon me, if Kenny Omega loses this match, then like Hangman Adam Page, um, he can no longer get an AEW World Championship match. But if he wins, then he goes on to face Kenny Omega at All In. So I I thought about this for a little bit. So I think what could possibly happen because Hangman Adam Page is expected to be returning soon. So I think this Wednesday, Beach Bash, main event, Kenny Omega, MJF, AEW World Title. It's gonna be a good match. And I think when we get to the end of that match, I think Hangman Adam Page is going to show up and he's going to cost MJF that championship. And Kenny Omega will become the new AEW World Champion at the end of that night. And then we get to AEW Redemption. Now, one of two things could possibly happen. We either get a rematch for the AEW Championship, or um, or Kenny Omega will either defend his championship against someone else, or he doesn't defend the championship at Redemption and just skips Redemption and goes right into All In. But I like the idea. But I think the idea of him getting a rematch is more than likely going to happen. And then I think, yeah, and then no, that does. Pardon me, that does not work because then where does Hangman Adam Page fit into that? It would kind of. So I think Hangman Adam Page wins. Rematch happens. I think at then you know what? Then instead of Hangman Adam, I think Kenny Omega wins clean, and then at the pay per view of Redemption, Hangman Adam Page returns and keeps um, MJF from regaining the AEW Championship, and then that would set up Omega. That would set up Omega and Will and Ospreay for All In, and that would also set up MJF and Page for All In as well. There's a possibility of that happening like that. We will see. Um, I'm very interested in how this all plays out this Wednesday. Um, but I'm gonna move on for now because the brain is turning and I got like 7 more ideas and I don't want to spend an hour talking about all these ideas, but they're there. Sorry, my hand. The Observer says WWE plans for Obafemi. The Observer says WWE's plan for Obafemi was always to win King of the Ring, but turned down the title shot at Reigns for a match with Lesnar. the goal is to create Reigns versus Femi as the big match, as the biggest match possible, which could mean saving it for WrestleMania. I feel like Reigns versus Femi is going to be a big match because Femi versus Lesnar has felt like fairly big matches, and this one coming up at SummerSlam, Femi versus Lesnar 3, this time in inside of a Hell in a Cell, really feels like a big type of match. And as I always call WrestleMania, pardon me, as always call SummerSlam, it is the WrestleMania of the summer. But I feel like this feels like a big match between Femi and Lesnar. This is really going to feel like a big match, and I feel like it's going to be the main event for night two. Like this is the one that closes out WrestleMania, 2 nights of WrestleMania. Lesnar and Reigns, absolutely. PW Insider confirmed that Vikingo suffered a knee injury this week. WWE sources say they are awaiting MRI results to learn the severity of the issue. Now, this past Friday on SmackDown, we got to see Vikingo have a match against Ray Phoenix for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. Now, just to be fair in that note, SmackDown was taped in Atlantic City on Monday, right after Raw, and then the next and then after that he went to NXT, where he was going to put his championship on the line, and at NXT, and that fell through because of the knee injury. So they had to quickly write him off television, which is why they had Carver do what he did for that in that type of situation, which is why Carver then and they switched it so then Carver would have the match that he had. So what this means for Vikingo, keep the eyes and ears open and see what it will look like for him in the coming weeks, as far as whether or not he'll have to relinquish his Latin American championship. Pardon me. Insider also mentioned that Road Dogg was not at TNA tapings this week. After he was backstage at Slammiversary pay-per-view, TNA and Road Dogg are apparently still working out a deal for him to join the creative team. A lot goes into a contract, and it's just like I said before earlier. It's not a question of if; it's really just a question of when it becomes official. And now, what I want to read a little something that little well, not actually, that'll be the last thing I do. So, I want to talk about really quickly about Monday Night Raw and how this past Monday's episode of Monday Night Raw. So I had and so it all started with so Monday, so last Monday, it all started with a rumor that I put out of the possibility of it being Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns um, at SummerSlam, and that I had at early that morning when I put that rumor out, it was a question because it was really coming down to what Obafemi was going to do as far as picking his champion that he wanted to face at SummerSlam. And then we skip a couple hours later. Monday Night Raw is on. We start with Obafemi. He comes out. He basks in the glory of becoming King of the Ring. And then out comes Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes out and has a surprisingly and rare good promo. Brock Lesnar himself says that he doesn't do well in promos, which is why he has uh, Paul Heyman. Very true, very true. But he did very well on the mic for this particular promo and segment. And then, as he was done, he he kicks Obafemi down in the spot no man ever wants to be kicked in, and down he goes. Brock Lesnar leaves. Obafemi picks himself up, grabs a mic, still holding the spot that hurts, and excuse me, and tells calls out, pardon me again, calls out Brock Lesnar and tells him that he wants to finish this and that let's have a match at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar, with a smile on his face, accepts the match and ones up Obafemi by saying that he wants to do it inside of a Hell in a Cell. Go backstage. Adam Pearce is making sure Obafemi understands what he's about to do. Obafemi says he understands. He wants the match. The championship ain't going nowhere. So with that, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, that is official inside of a Hell in a Cell. Obafemi declines his championship match, which is part of that rumor that I read that the plan is for Obafemi to win King of the Ring, take that that name and becoming the King of the Ring. That was always the plan. So that part of the plan is complete. Here comes the second part of the plan as we get all the way to the end of the night for Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns comes out with Jacob Fatu, and Roman Reigns, we're all acknowledging our tribal chief. We are. And then here comes Seth Rollins. Words are spoken, true words are spoken, brother to brother. And then Seth Rollins says it's time to collect. He wants the championship he never lost, and he throws out a match, SummerSlam, for the world title, him versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, and it was very serious. It was very calm. It was just right to the point. They all said what they needed to say. Roman Reigns says, "I don't need to be." Roman Reigns says, "I don't want to beat you. I need to beat you." And at SummerSlam, that is what we'll do. So, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, world title. That was also always the plan from WWE to have that match. Now it's set in stone, it's official. So now we have Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. We have Io Sky versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. Liv Morgan's first championship defense since winning it at WrestleMania, which she'll probably lose at SummerSlam, which is sad because she from after WrestleMania to now she should have had at least 3 or 4 title defenses. Oh well. And then we have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Those are our 3 matches that we have officially. I know there are more to come, but what we have gotten so far for SummerSlam, those 3 matches, is a great start to what will be an incredible 2 nights in Minnesota for SummerSlam, and I'm looking forward to it. We're still about a month. We're still we're 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 in the months. Pardon me. We're like about 4 to 5 weeks out before SummerSlam. But I'm already looking forward to it with just these matches alone, and I can't. It's going to be good. Now, August 30th, NXT announced. So WWE announced that August 30th, NXT Heatwave and AAA will have an event. Now, this will have a dual. They'll have like a dual event. This particular event is happening August 30th, as I just said, and it's on the same day as AEW All In. We all know this is not on accident. We all know this is on purpose to counter program All In. But here's the thing about countering programming All In. It would be like if AEW tried to counter program a SummerSlam. Would be like if would try to counter program a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania with one of either a pay-per-view or with Collision. It's just not going to go in their favor. I mean, you will have people who will watch this, but the the general masses of pro wrestling fans already have this date on their calendar for All In. All In is their WrestleMania, essentially. All In will be watched by more people than people watching NXT Heatwave and AAA. Now there will be people who will, after they watch All In, will go back and watch AAA and NXT Heatwave. Absolutely. It's a night, it's going to be that day where you can pick between the two. But I think a lot of people have already made their choice in All In. Nothing against one company or the other. That's just that's just how it's going to go. That's just my prediction in that. Absolutely. Now, if I could afford to watch All In, absolutely. But here's the truth. Why I never really talk about or do like a results show for like an AEW pay per view or a TNA pay per view is because, in all honesty, um, I can't afford to watch all of them. You know, I can't afford to watch TNA. I can't afford to watch uh, All In. You know, I can only really afford to watch WWE, and I don't have a problem with being able to afford to watch one. I love WWE. I enjoy watching the PLEs, the Raws, the SmackDowns, the NXTs, when it's all of that stuff. I enjoy all of that stuff. So that's not really like an issue for me. I would enjoy if I could. I'm just saying that if I could afford to watch an AEW pay per view or TNA pay per view in a sense, I absolutely would watch it. But I can't. So what I do is I see the clips, right, and I read what Bleacher Report uh, talks about and the results for these shows, and I have my imagination. I can picture it how it all went down and read about it, and then get to Dynamite and then kind of connect the dots for the rest. So that's why I don't talk about. That's why I don't do the result shows for that, or why I feel like I can really dive in deep on it as much because I'm as I'm pardon me as I'm able to watch Dynamite and Collision, absolutely no problem. Um, the pay per views are a bit of a problem for me, because I can't afford to watch them. So I just wanted to throw that out there as I'm talking about how what WWE is doing is on purpose and how it's really going to play out. Now, the last thing that I'm gonna read, and then I'm gonna allow all of you to just kind of really, I want you to hear it, and then make up your mind about what you feel about it, and put it in the comments, and that'll that's and that'll do it for Wrestling with Rumors. So let me get into this. So the latest edition of Wrestling Observer newsletter lists the key matches on WWE's original card for this year's SummerSlam PLE. This was said to be WWE's plan prior to Rhea Ripley's injury on the European tour. The top men's matches were listed as Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. On the women's side, the plan was to book Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill, WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley against either JC Jane or Alexa Bliss, and Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. This implies that Rhea's injury did not change plans for the ending of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Some of the other original planned SummerSlam matches included Gunther versus Royce Keys, Fatal Influence versus Paige, and Brie Bella, which is happening at Saturday night's main event in a couple weeks. Um, the United States Champion Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes, which is also happening at Saturday night's main event. Most of these matches still seem to be planned for SummerSlam, with the gathering expectation of Gunther, who is now headed to a match against Nick Aldis. I hope this happens. That will be exciting. That will be his first match in WWE. Finally, the women's tag team title match has been announced for Saturday night's main event on July 18th. Yes, it has. And of course, there is a lot of uncertainty about Rhea's situation for SummerSlam due to her injury. It's worth noting that current WWE champion Sami Zayn is not listed for key SummerSlam match on the original card, and there is still a clear path to booking Rhodes versus Punk for the WWE title at SummerSlam based on what happens next this Monday on Raw in Chicago. Get to that in a second. If Rhodes does indeed win back the WWE Championship to end Sami Zayn's reign in less than 10 days, it probably means that WWE only put the belt on Sami in Saudi Arabia to give him a "you deserve it" moment. This is what I want to talk about really quick. First thing, Raw this Monday is in Chicago. If Cody Rhodes wins back the WWE Championship from Sami Zayn, that would be the moment for CM Punk to return, come back out, have that face to face with Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. That would set up that would plant the seed. That would set up what will be Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at SummerSlam this whole time, and that would put Sami Zayn in a Kofi Kingston type of moment where well, to be fair to Kofi Kingston won the title from Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania and then was able to have a summer with the WWE Championship, defending it and all that stuff, and then lost it in October when SmackDown debuted on Fox against Brock Lesnar, um, like that. So I think at least all of us want to see Sami Zayn have what's left of the summer with the WWE Championship, and then maybe get into the fall, and then maybe loses the championship after holding it for a couple months. We would love to see that. I don't. Oh man, it sucks. I mean, it's not. Excuse me. It's not uncommon for WWE to do that, to have someone um, win the championship and only hold it for for like 10 days. You know, it's something like they did with Mankind. Like Mankind won the WWE Championship, and then it wasn't long after when he lost it to The Rock. Um, so it's not uncommon, again, for WWE to do something like that. It's possible they would do something. They could do something like that to Sami Zayn. I mean, for Sami Zayn is now a Grand Slam champion. He is forever going to be known as someone who has held the WWE Championship, absolutely. But to lose it to Cody Rhodes like that, and after his first match, it really sucks because I want Sami Zayn to be able to prove that he didn't win the title just because it was in a triple threat match. He won the title because he is good. He is that good, and he is deserving of that WWE title, even in one-on-one matches. So I want Sami Zayn to retain the championship this Monday on Raw. But we're in Chicago. I have a feeling. I don't want to say bad feeling, but I have a feeling that Cody Rhodes is going to win the championship for a fourth time. And then we're going to get to SummerSlam, and it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, which is what I've been thinking it was going to be this whole time. And then we've been taking these twists and turns and bumps in the roads to possibly get to that moment, and to have pinpoint Sami Zayn in the middle of it. It hurts a little bit. So, um, Raw will be what it will be, and we'll see how it all plays out. But I think that's how it's going to play out, and that sucks. And that'll do it for Wrestling with Rumors this week. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up when all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors drops. When Rumor of the Day drops, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, and I appreciate all of you for watching. I appreciate all of all the views that I get, for all of you coming by to my Wrestling with Rumors channel, checking out Wrestling with Rumors, checking out Rumor of the Day and all the other stuff that I drop on this channel. For now, hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. And I am Anthony K. Thomas from Wrestling with Rumors. And I'll see you all in that next one. Peace, y'all.